And joining us is our race runner-up, Denny Hamlin. He drove the number 11 Sports Clips Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing. With his performance tonight, Denny moves up to 4th in our championship point standing, 17 points out of first place. Denny, talk about the run out there tonight. Certainly 500 miles. Your car was really getting stronger, though, as the race went along, and you had a lot there at the end.
Yeah, it was a great effort for our Sport Clips team. Really our finishes because of the crew chief making good calls and the pit crew making good pit stops. That kept us in the ball game and kept our track position up front. And we were planning on taking 2. That last stop, but I slid through the box, and so Darian had to take 4 tires, and it kind of took the lead away from us, and or second away from us, and at that point, we were 5th or 6th, and then we just had to battle back. And track position was so important tonight, so really proud of our effort. I think that it's definitely a good run for our team. 2 seconds in this weekend and at this track we'll take, even though we wish we had a win.
Questions for Denny? If you have one, raise your hand. We have a couple of wireless mics. Questions, raise your hand. Anybody here down here? How about press box? Questions for Denny Hamlin in the press box?
My gosh. I hope it isn't as loud down there as it is up here.
Go ahead.
Monty Dutton, Gaston Gazette. Denny, obviously, based on last night's nationwide race as this one, certainly 4 tires was not just a no-brainer call. But how can you assess the change? I mean, was it a tougher call this year than last year? Did the tires fall off more? I mean, I know it's a gradual change with pavement, but how far has the track come in a year in your estimation?
When we showed up and had practice, I thought that it really was a huge change from last year. But once we got in the race, track position once again was king. So it's 10% better. Heading back to where it was the old Darlington that everyone loved. It's going to take another 5 years for track position not to matter as much in tire wear to be more of a factor, unless Goodyear builds a tire that wears out a little bit more. So it was harder to make, I think, the crew chief's decision to take 2 or 4 or none this time around. We stayed out and actually held track position pretty well. So that tells you right there that the surface really still isn't wearing the tires as much as it should.
Stay upstairs, press box, and then we'll come down. Go ahead, press box.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Denny, even if you hadn't had a little bit of a glitch on the last stop, do you think anybody really had anything for the 48 tonight the way they were running?
It's tough to say. I thought the 56 probably could give him a good run. When our car was best, we could probably hang with him, but obviously it looked like his car was very strong. It was one of the best. In my opinion, the 56 probably was right there with him. But he chose to come in and pit and lost his track position, but it looks like he still made it back up, so that tells you he had a pretty fast car there.
Any other questions in the press box?
No further questions in the press box.
Come downstairs. Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. Obviously, last night, pushing on the restart was an issue. Tonight, the same setup. What were you going to do with Jimmy, or did he just get a jump on you? Were you going to try to push him? What did you expect on the inside line, too, with your teammate?
Yeah, he did. I was trying to time the restart and time it to where when he was taking off, I was on his bumper pushing. But I've got a problem spinning my tires, it seems like, and I've got to figure out how to get better on restarts, whether it be priming the tires or whatever it takes on the backstretch before we go green. But we still got a good start. We restarted 4th, ended up 2nd off of turn 2. So the high line seemed like it was the best line to take on these restarts. Obviously, it won out tonight. Jimmy, won with it. So, it was hairy. I mean, there was a point where I got sideways and somebody got in the back of me and I nearly wrecked, just like Elliott did yesterday. So it's tough. You know, these cars are not built to go in a straight line. They're the stagger in the tires and everything makes it turn one way or another. So when you try to throttle up, it's extremely hard to get the tires going.
What did you think Kyle was going to do on the inside with Tony?
I didn't think they really could do anything. You know, when you're on the inside like that, if you're even if he was even with Jimmy getting in turn one, I don't think he had any chance at all, simply because the inside guy gets too loose. You know, really, I drove into turn one and got beside Tony equal, and his car was, the guy on the inside is at the guy on the outside's mercy. So there's nothing really you can do. So I knew when I restarted fourth, I had a good shot to move up.